You're never going to be rich without sacrifices. Life doesn't work that way, my friend. Being rich is something only a select few of us will ever be. And like with every rare thing in the world, it requires sacrifice. Today, we will tell you the 15 biggest sacrifices you have to make to become rich in the modern world. Now you've got the chance to understand what your future holds for you. Don't let that one-time chance slip out of your hands. So watch this video until the end to be prepared for what's ahead of you. And now, my dear financer, we jump right into the first sacrifice you have to make to become rich. You will lose your identity. Identity. It's what defines us, what we often cling to, and what gives us a sense of self in this vast world. But let's take a pause here. What if I told you that your identity isn't static, but rather an ever-evolving essence of who you are? Imagine a snake. As it grows, it sheds its skin, leaving behind an old version to embrace a new, larger, and more fitting one. The snake doesn't mourn the loss, it celebrates the growth. This is the same principle that applies to our personal identities on the journey to amass wealth. Becoming rich doesn't just mean an increase in the numbers in your bank account. It means an enrichment of the mind, the soul, and the self. The version of you that made certain decisions or held specific beliefs a few years ago might not be the version that will lead you to a wealthy future. It's that simple. If you haven't accomplished what you dream of, you have to change what you do. For instance, think of a habit you once had that no longer serves you. Maybe you used to splurge on everyday payday, buying things that were cool and in fashion. Now, as you evolve, you might realize the value of saving, investing, or even just spending more cautiously. Another critical aspect of identity evolutions is feedback. Often to grow, we need to take in constructive criticism, learn from failures, and adapt. It's not about changing who you are at your core, but enhancing and evolving based on experiences and lessons. In essence, to be rich, you might need to leave behind certain aspects of your identity that don't serve your greater goals, all while fostering and developing the traits and habits that do. The journey to wealth isn't just about external growth, it's an internal journey too. It's about constantly questioning, is this version of me the best one for my goals? And if not, having the courage, determination, and flexibility to evolve into that version that is. Remember, dear financer, the goal isn't to lose yourself, but to discover the best version of yourself, a version that aligns with your dreams, aspirations, and the path of prosperity. And speaking of alignment, let's move on to a very common pitfall many encounter. Being right. We've all been there. That moment when we're so convinced we're right. The mere suggestion that we might be wrong feels like an insult. It's human nature to want validation, to believe that our perspective, our solution, our strategy is the correct one. But here's a truth bomb for all the aspiring rich folks out there. Stubbornly clinging to being right can be the biggest roadblock on your path to wealth. Let's start with the world of investments, a domain familiar to those chasing money. The market is unpredictable. You might have done all the research, made all the right calculations, and still, things could go south. The worst mistake? Doubling down just because you can't admit you were wrong. The best investors, the real wealthy ones, they cut their losses, they admit their mistakes, and they pivot. But this isn't just about money, it's about mindset. Think about the realm of startups. How many businesses start with one idea but find success in another? It's called a pivot. It's not a sign of failure, it's a sign of adaptability. It's a sign of a founder who values success over being right. Admitting you're wrong is not a display of weakness, it's a demonstration of strength. It takes courage to say, I got that wrong. But it takes even more courage to say, let's find the right way. Sometimes that means letting go of being right in pursuit of doing what's right for your goals. So make sure you stick around to the very end of this video. The final sacrifice is perhaps the most pivotal of them all. Moving on to our third sacrifice. Staying in one place. Picture this, dear financer. You have the comfort of your hometown, the familiar streets, your favorite cafe just around the corner, family and friends within an arm's reach. Comforting, isn't it? But what if the next big break, that game-changing opportunity awaits you in a city far away, or perhaps even in a different country? The world we live in is abundant in opportunities, but they aren't always conveniently located. The tech hubs of Silicon Valley, the stock exchanges of New York, the luxury markets of Paris or Dubai. Each place has its own unique potential, its own golden ticket, if you will. Staying attached to one place means you're missing out wealth and experiences elsewhere. And while moving does come with its own challenges, the unfamiliarity, the effort of resettling, sometimes even culture shock, is also a way to broaden your horizons, both financially and personally. You see, it's not just about the money. It's about the richness of experiences, networking, and understanding global markets. It's about positioning yourself in the epicenter of action. And sometimes that means leaving the comfort of your home to build an empire elsewhere. So, financiers, if you hear of an opportunity that requires relocation, don't dismiss it immediately. Embrace the unknown and be adaptable, because in the grand pursuit of wealth, true success doesn't always come in the form we expect. Speaking of which, our next sacrifice might be one of the hardest to grasp in today's fast-paced world. Fourth sacrifice, instant success. In the age of viral videos, breakout apps, and overnight sensations, it's easy to be seduced by the notion of instant success. Everywhere we look, we see stories of individuals seemingly catapulting to wealth and fame overnight. These narratives can skew our perceptions and create the dangerous assumption that success should be immediate. But dear financer, it's crucial to see beyond the headlines. You see, what these stories often leave out is the groundwork, the years of hard work, the countless failures, the nights spent refining a craft or concept. True success is like an iceberg. Most people only see the tip, but it's what's beneath the surface, the persistence, the grit, the sacrifices, that makes all the difference. Embracing the journey to wealth requires an understanding that there's no elevator to success. Quick fixes, shortcuts, and sudden windfalls are not only rare but often unreliable. They might provide temporary high, but they seldom offer the foundation needed for enduring prosperity. Think about it. Would you rather have a flash-in-the-pan moment of fame and fortune that fizzles out as quickly as it came, or build a legacy that not only benefits you, but generations to come? Sacrificing the illusion of instant success means dedicating yourself to the long game, understanding that every step, every setback, and every triumph is a part of the grand tapestry of your success story. So the next time you're tempted by the allure of a quick fix, remember, lasting wealth isn't built in a day. It's constructed brick by brick, decision by decision over time. While becoming an overnight millionaire isn't a fairy tale, it demands relentless effort, often without visible results or fun for years. And it might look completely different than you imagined. But there's a way to get there, and we share that way in one of our other videos called 10 Secrets of Becoming an Overnight Millionaire. Speaking of immediate rewards, let's dive into a daily temptation many of us can relate to. Immediate gratifications. We live in a world of now. Instant messaging, same-day deliveries, real-time updates. The world has conditioned us to expect things immediately. And with such convenience at our fingertips, it's tempting to indulge in those daily luxuries. That aromatic cup of coffee from the high-end cafe, the latest designer wear, or even the brand new tech gadget that just got released. It's also inviting. However, every successful individual knows the importance of delayed gratification. It's not about depriving yourself, but making conscious choices. Think of it this way. Every dollar you don't spend today can be invested to grow into $10 tomorrow. By skipping that $5 coffee daily in a year, you can save over $1,800. Now, invest that amount wisely and watch it grow exponentially over the years. Moreover, it's not just about money. It's also about time, energy, and focus. Instead of binge watching that latest series, what if you spent that time learning a new skill or working on a side project? The compounded effects of these small sacrifices can be monumental over time. So, dear financer, next time you're faced with a tempting purchase or distraction, ask yourself, is this immediate gratification worth the potential long-term rewards I'm sacrificing? The journey to wealth is a marathon, not a sprint. It's the choices we make today that define our tomorrow. Choose wisely. Remember, financiers, you clicked on this video because you're eager to understand the sacrifices needed to achieve true wealth. We come to our next point. Sacrifice 6 steady paychecks. It's a comforting feeling, isn't it? Knowing exactly when and how much money will land in your account each month. But here's the thing. Many of the world's wealthiest individuals once took a leap away from this comfort. They recognized that sometimes the path to the highest peaks of success isn't a straight climb, but a series of risky jumps. Bidding farewell to a steady paycheck doesn't just mean embracing financial instability. It means stepping into the vast, unpredictable realm of entrepreneurship. Here, success isn't guaranteed, and challenges come unannounced. Yet, it's in this very uncertainty that innovation breeds, dreams are pursued with fervor, and true financial freedom is attained. It's a bold step, one that not everyone is ready to take. But if you're aiming for unparalleled wealth and success, it might just be the leap you need to consider. And for that, we have 2 videos about the topic, which you will have to watch after this video. Moving on to our next sacrifice. Number 7, Sleepless Nights. The beauty of a good night's sleep. Yet for those hungry for success, the silent hours of the night often resonate with the bustling energy of ambition. While the city sleeps, the visionary is awake, strategizing, brainstorming, and laying the foundation of their empire. The quiet of the night provides a respite from the noise of the day, allowing for undisturbed focus and clarity. It's in these moments where the rest of the world is adrift in dreams that groundbreaking ideas emerge. Businesses are conceptualized and strategies are honed. Yet this doesn't mean neglecting health. It's about understanding when to push boundaries and when to retreat and recuperate. We think that good sleep is an indicator of a successful person, and short sleep doesn't mean you're unhealthy. You just have to reduce useless sleep. Increase your REM and deep sleep, and you're good to go. Moving to our 8th sacrifice, time with loved ones. Let's talk about Alex, a name you've heard before and a story that resonates with many. Growing up, Alex always envisioned a life of prosperity, not just for himself, but for his family. He dreamt of the day he could give back to his parents who had sacrificed so much and ensure a life of comfort for his younger sister Ella. As he embarked on his journey to achieve this vision, the clock became his constant companion and adversary. The hours flew, turning into days and months. He was in the zone, constantly working, strategizing, networking, and learning. The calendar pages turned, and before he knew it, Ella's high school graduation came around, a day he had promised years ago to be a part of. But a crucial business deal aligned on the same date, putting Alex in the painful position of choosing between an important family milestone and a potentially life-changing professional opportunity. He chose the latter, and it hurt. The pictures of Ella in her graduation gown, the empty seat next to his parents, the messages of understanding yet tinged with disappointment, all weighed heavily on him. But every time he felt that pain, he reminded himself of the why, the bigger picture, the dream of one day having enough not just to be there for the special occasions, but to create countless special occasions for his loved ones. Alex's story is a testament to the sacrifices one often makes in the pursuit of wealth. It's a reminder that while the path to success may sometimes lead us away from loved ones temporarily, the goal is always to circle back with the means to create lasting memories and ensure a legacy of comfort and happiness. Following Alex's story, it's not just the time with loved ones that one sacrifices. Sometimes, the journey to wealth demands an even deeper introspection and a reevaluation of one's very beliefs and norms. The 9th sacrifice is 9, conformity. Picture Alex for a moment, a representation of every individual who dreams big. The society we grow up in often sets a blueprint for life. Go to school, get a job, settle down, and live happily ever after. But what if your dreams don't fit into that mold? What if your vision sees further than what's laid out in front of you? Alex, like many visionaries, realized early on that the path to monumental success isn't always the well-trodden one. It may mean choosing a road less traveled, facing skepticism, perhaps even ridicule. But true wealth often lies beyond the boundaries of conformity. It's about having the courage to say, "This is my journey," and it doesn't have to look like everyone else's. And speaking of courage, it brings us to the next point. Nice. We're at the 10th sacrifice already, and this one's big. Personal fears. Every one of us carries our bag of fears. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. But remember what we said about Alex? His vision was bigger than his fears. To truly embrace wealth and success, you must be willing to confront these fears head on. Use those fears not as anchors that pull you into the depths of hesitation, but as a catapult to launch you into the realm of opportunities. Every successful leap begins with the willingness to face uncertainty, to embrace the unknown, and to trust in your potential. And as you stand at that precipice, ready to transcend those barriers, remember this: success isn't just about reaching new heights. It's also about the humility to understand that we don't have all the answers. And that brings us to sacrifice 11, your pride. Consider for a moment the most successful people you admire, whether it's Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, or anyone else whose success story resonates with you. One common trait you'll find is their ability to adapt, to learn, and to pivot. But here's the thing. All of that requires a crucial ingredient: humility. Imagine being in a boardroom presenting a well-thought-out strategy you've worked on for months. Halfway through, someone points out a significant flaw, a loophole you missed. Your initial instinct might be to defend, to justify, to let your pride take the driver's seat. But what if instead you pause, listen, and genuinely consider the feedback? Putting down your pride doesn't mean dismissing your self-worth. It's about understanding that the journey to wealth is a collaborative one. It's about being open to new perspectives, fresh ideas, and sometimes hard truths. It's about acknowledging that the reservoir of knowledge is vast, and we're all just sipping from it. Success stories aren't just tales of triumphs, they're also lessons in humility. Every time you choose learning over ego, collaboration over conflict, and growth over stagnation, you're paving your path to wealth. Sacrifice number 12, flashiness. Imagine this, financiers. You're scrolling through social media, and you see your friends flaunting their new watches, the latest tech gadgets, or vacationing in exotic locations. It's easy to get pulled into this world of showiness, believing that this is the benchmark for success. However, real wealth building is rarely so conspicuous. The millionaires next door, those who quietly accumulate significant wealth, often live unflashy for a long time. It's tempting, especially when you start tasting the initial fruits of your labor, to splurge, to treat yourself. And while self-care is crucial, there's a fine line between rewarding oneself and being recklessly extravagant. Consider this. The money spent on a luxury item today could be an investment for tomorrow. That designer bag might give immediate satisfaction, but will it bring long-term returns? Probably not. Instead, smartly investing that sum could grow it many times over in the future. In essence, the road to significant wealth often starts with frugality, making calculated decisions and prioritizing future financial freedom over present flashiness. The sparkle of true wealth isn't in the showiness, but in the security, freedom, and opportunities it brings. So while it might seem counterintuitive in today's show-off culture, sacrificing flashiness is often the secret move of those truly on the path to riches. And while the allure of a relaxing weekend might beckon most, for some, these moments are opportunities. Opportunities to work, to innovate, and to push ahead. That brings us to our 13th sacrifice. And man, you have to stay until the end. You should not miss that last one. Paint this picture in your mind. It's Saturday afternoon, and the city's alive with people are enjoying brunches, families are on picnics, and friends gather for movies. But for those on the quest for wealth, this scene often looks different. Their workspace is lit, screens are alive with data, and their minds are churning with strategies and ideas. Why? Because they don't operate on a 9-to-5 schedule. You should not recognize weekends or public holidays. You have to be relentlessly driven and committed to your goal. Bill Gates, during the early days of Microsoft, was known to work 7 days a week without taking any vacations. Elon Musk, in the formative years of Tesla and SpaceX, often put in 100-hour weeks. Their sacrifices of personal time weren't just about work. It was about passion, commitment, and an unyielding focus on their vision. However, it's essential to recognize that this isn't a call for endless labor. Instead, it's about recognizing that on the road to wealth, there are periods when personal time might become a luxury. It's about understanding that temporary imbalances often lead to a future where you can control not just your wealth, but your time in its entirety. So while the world might be soaking in the sun or relishing a weekend retreat, remember that every hour you dedicate today gets you closer to a future where every moment is truly yours, free from financial worries or constraints. Sacrificing personal time now can lead to a lifetime of choices and financial freedom later. Moving to the 14th sacrifice. Financiers, stop for a moment and listen carefully. You have to sacrifice your current knowledge. Believing you've reached the pinnacle of knowledge can be an Achilles heel on your journey to wealth. As the world evolves, so must you. While it's essential to be confident in what you know, it's equally critical to recognize the vastness of what you don't. The markets change, technology advances, and strategies evolve. Holding on to old beliefs or outdated information is a ticket to stagnation. The true titans of industry and the moguls of the modern age aren't those who rest on their laurels. They are voracious learners, always hungry for the next piece of insight or the latest trend. They attend seminars, read books, and surround themselves with experts from various fields. Therefore, sacrificing the comfort of your current knowledge means immersing yourself in the ever-flowing river of information. It's about understanding that the more you learn, the more you realize there's so much more out there. And in that continuous cycle of learning, unlearning, and relearning lies the path to true wealth. But here's the thing, financiers, while knowledge is power, it's only half the battle. How the world perceives you and how you navigate that perception is the final frontier on this journey. It's the key we've alluded to throughout our conversation, and it's time to unveil it. Our final sacrifice is sacrifice your public perception. In our hyper-connected world, we're under a relentless spotlight. Every decision, every step, and every stumble is often judged, dissected, and sometimes misinterpreted. As you tread the path of financial success, there will be countless moments when the world might not align with your vision or appreciate the sacrifices you're making. They might see the risks but not the potential rewards. They might observe the struggles, but not the underlying passion. They will hate you, but you have to stay true to yourself. Remember the words of Theodore Roosevelt. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how strong the man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by the dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly. Roosevelt's words remind us that it's easy for onlookers to criticize, but only those in the fray, those daring to break the mold, truly understand the essence of their journey. Moreover, consider this. A survey from the Pew Research Center indicates that nearly 60% of adults suffer from the majority illusion, believing that they need to conform to perceived popular behaviors, often amplified on social platforms. However, the most transformative figures in history rarely conformed. From inventors like Nikola Tesla, who was often ridiculed for his futuristic visions, to leaders like Nelson Mandela, who faced intense criticism before their ideals became globally revered. Their stories teach us the value of staying true to one's conviction. In your journey towards immense wealth and success, you must be prepared to sacrifice the transient perceptions of the public. By doing so, you align yourself not with fleeting opinions, but with your enduring vision and purpose. It's crucial to internalize that while accolades are gratifying, they are not the metric by which you should measure your success. The real gauge? Your integrity, your commitment to your goals, and the legacy you wish to leave behind. Remember, critics are many, but visionaries are few. In sacrificing public perception, you're choosing the rare path of visionaries, positioning yourself not for momentary applause, but for lasting impact and unparalleled success. And there you have it, financiers. The pivotal sacrifices necessary for true wealth and success. Each step, every sacrifice is a test of your determination and commitment to your dreams. It's not about just earning money, but about crafting a legacy, shaping your destiny, and leaving an indelible mark on the world. See you in the next video.